winning is crazy. Your opportunity.
Freedom is a core value of mine, both in life and work. And obviously, freelancing offers that. I can be more creative there. So my nonconformity value can be fully realized here too. Just find your comfortable way of building personal brand and networking, and do this. Participate in non-content and non-marketing communities, because there is almost no competition or little competition. Today, for example, I created my first application with Claude. It took just, I think, 5 minutes. If nothing completely changes and the AI will develop in the same speed, I think we will end up managing AI bots, creating custom prompts.
Hello and welcome to WeMarketers podcast. I'm Andrew and my today's guest is Vlada Korzun, strategic content marketer. Today we're gonna talk about working as freelance marketer. Vlada, happy to have you today.
Thanks for having me. A few words about me. I'm freelance B2B content marketer and writer. My general experience is over 5 years, and I'm freelancing for about a year now. I'm also taking a leap into building my agency in addition to my freelance work. And right now I'm focused on everything long-term content, creating, updating, repurposing, and promotion. Some niches I'm more aware than the others are cybersecurity, L&D, and sales tech. A few words about my work style are nonconformity, depth, and fun.
To kick off our conversation, tell your story. How did you end up being a content marketer and how did it all started?
I think it's the very beginning is pretty standard for most writers and content marketers. I had a passion for reading and writing my whole life, since 5. And during my student years, I managed social media for NGO and then legal company where I worked. Yeah, I have a BS in international law, and midway through my I'm in European business law, I realized that legal profession wasn't for me. So I dropped out and applied to a content marketing agency. Initially, I freelanced writing in my native language, but soon I joined a software development company where I finally wrote in English. I managed all content-related tasks, from content ideation to publishing, to even help recruiters with cold messaging and pitching media with content ideas. This was my first time I tried to go beyond writing and participate in content strategy. I was really trying to approach all content I write and create in a kind of thoughtful, strategic way. I interviewed sales managers to learn more about our customers, since I can't talk to our customers directly. I also interviewed software engineers for various articles, talked to account managers probably.
So you always had this entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes, that's why I think I'm not really fit in the full-time job and working for other people, because there are a bit other success strategies should be applied. You should do what managers want you to do, not what you think is right thing. Maybe I just didn't find my team and my manager.
And why did you choose to work for yourself instead of working in-house?
When I was laid off from my last full-time job, I managed to have a few freelance gigs so I can make a living. And there was another part of this story, because even during my last month working in this company, I started to be inspired by freelancers. Freedom is a core value of mine, both in life and work. And obviously, freelancing offers that. I can be more creative there. So my nonconformity value can be fully realized here too. Talking about more practical things, I like that there's no limit in earnings. When you are working full-time job, you have a salary and you can get a rise only one time per year.
Yeah,
And
if you are very lucky.
Yes, but in freelance, it can correlate. And one day you are sitting and thinking, scratching the head, thinking how to pay for your flat. And another day you are planning a trip to Italy because you closed two more clients.
But at the same time, content market is very overcrowded. What strategies do you use to attract and retain clients? Maybe some things that help you stand apart the competition?
Yeah, it's standing out is a big pain point for me, and I think for other freelance content marketers. I have two main differentiators. So I think beyond just producing quality content, I care about business impact. And as you mentioned, yeah, I position myself as a strategic writer who acts like part of the team, not like a person on the side who just do the tasks with which he or she were provided. Another more unique differentiator for which I'm refining my skills and moving step by step is I skills. So I want to speed up my processes with AI and other automation related to tools, and I want to help content teams to do the same because I'm not like AI expert, but I see that there is a lot of work with managing all these tools, with creating prompts, with updating all the tools and prompts when a new model come out and you need to test it out and to implement in your processes.
Yeah, this is really something unique to hear from content marketer. This is really great because in many cases I hear that content marketers they say that they don't use AI, but this is obviously something that doesn't sound like true.
Yeah, but sure, I already figure out some agencies, some consultants who already help with this.
Mhm.
And from one side, it's like, oh my God, there is already such solutions. What I will like, how I will differentiate and what I will do. But then I think if they create their companies, then there is a need. Then I can compete with them.
Zoom in a little bit into how do you handle working with clients. And my first question here is how do you deal with situation where the client's vision conflicts with your professional approach?
I don't see much conflict here. When I see how something can be improved, I will say it. And it's up to them to implement this or not. It's more like care and recommendations. And they don't agree with this, then it's their responsibility if the content will not perform well.
I'm just thinking that on the one side, of course, it's a responsibility of clients. At the same time, you want work to be done. And on the other hand, you want this work to impact clients' business. It often happens that uh, clients don't understand some approaches that content marketers provide them. They have their own vision, and content marketers have another vision. And it's a huge part of work for content marketers to deliver, to convince on these approaches.
Yeah, getting the buy-in is a big, but for example, if I have a client like founder who isn't aware of any content or marketing stuff, so I expect him to believe me because he hires me as an expert. And if it
Exactly.
doesn't follow this way, then probably this is a reason to say goodbye to this client. And if it's like a stable enterprise with their marketing processes, with their style guides, with their processes set up through 5 years, 10 years, then I can't like interrupt and tell that now this will be this way because I first don't have right to do this maybe, but even if I do, they won't do this way. And if I will like hinder their work, then it will be poor customer service because I need to make their life easier, especially when I work with project manager, when I didn't work like with, but yeah, I think with all job roles, I need to make their life easier because they hire me to delegate me some part of work and they want this work to be done under their requirements.
and without extra hustle. Let's talk a little bit about time management. So freelancers often deal with huge amount of different tasks and several clients at once. What is your approach to time management? I'm a morning person, so I try to do the hardest work in the morning. I block 1 to 3 hours per project, so I don't spend extra energy jumping from one project to another. With my current clients, I have pretty flexible deadlines. Often freelancers don't follow deadlines. I'm managing this way that I'm agreeing with my clients that either it will be delivered, for example, on 8th September or 9th September. So 1-2 days. How do you determine the value of your services? Any advice for people who are just starting as freelancers? To make it realistic for clients, track the market by reading competitor case studies and comparing pricing. If you're talking about agencies, if you're talking about freelancers, for example, often I face freelancers reveal their pricing in their LinkedIn posts. Also, I'm just networking, talking to other people. And one big tip to define your pricing and monetary value is to hire other writers and marketers. So you will see what work is equal what price. One more advice, more motivational, inspirational. Don't blindly follow others' pricing models, because I did it myself. I read a lot of freelance advices from like senior freelance writers who freelance for 10 years, 15 years. You should for sure try this approach, but then like feel and be conscious about what is comfortable and what works for you. Because, for example, I often try to price my services as a project, and I think I will get back to this model. But now I work with most clients on hourly base. I find it convenient, and clients find it convenient. And actually, those clients with whom I work this way, they offer themselves this pricing model. But at the same time, myself, for example, as a person who is hiring freelancers, it's not clear for me how. Yes, for me it is clear, because I've been working in this industry almost 13 years, and I understand how many time do freelancers spend on writing articles and other content. But maybe for founders of business who are not familiar with this stuff, it can be tricky to define the exact amount of hours freelancer needs to complete the specific work. So in this regard, are there any challenges or not? Not that often, but I think I would state approximate amount of time. If it's typical task, I would state approximate amount of time I would spend on this, and then the client will tell if it's works for him or for her. If I don't know the exact time, we can discuss the cap until I will work, and then we will discuss the results if we will proceed and extend the budget. I can assume that personal brand is main driver of clients for you. Actually, we met through your personal brand that you are actively developing on LinkedIn. I saw one of your posts, I followed you, and in this way we got acquainted. But from your point of view, how important is your personal brand in driving clients for you? You should put yourself out there as much as possible, what is within your comfort. And because I know some people are more introverted and they find it hard to go to networking events, even to post on LinkedIn, because there are imposter syndrome and they think what I will tell, even if they have a big experience. Just find your comfortable way of building personal brand and networking and do this. I prioritize making fun of it rather than like thinking how to write about content strategy and something that will be super relevant to my audience. It will help me to be consistent, and it will help me to attract people who like
my personality and my values, and it will be easier to work with these folks. At least I will try this approach and we'll see in a couple of months.
You mentioned comfortable way of doing this. What is your comfortable way of promoting your personal brand? Any practical tips?
I'm quite extroverted. I don't mind going to networking events, but for sure, offline networking events are far more not that comfortable as online networking. So when I'm in introverted mode, for example, I see in the chats, in the communities, some requests, I can help people. Also, what else? I also have a new idea. I would try also for introverted mode. This is writing to authors of content I consumed. For example, if I like someone's article, I would write to this person, hey, I liked your article. Thanks you very much. And I have this question about this point. When I'm more in extroverted mode, I can go to offline networking events. I talk to people, I meet new people, I try to pitch myself. Also, I may have a calls or have a calls with mentors, peers, colleagues, and like participating in podcasts because I understand I like to be on the camera and my English not perfect, but it's enough for speaking.
It's
Yes.
improving over time. And as a person who is actively participating in different networking events, both online and in person, maybe some tips from you. Especially, I'm interested, which kind of community do you participate in and what works for you in terms of finding new clients?
My best channel is related to online communities, not even online. They are partially online, partially offline. And I find the most working to participate in non-content and non-marketing communities because there is almost no competition or little competition. For example, currently I participate in in Poland here in Warsaw. There is a local startup community. And also I participate in W Tech community, translate like women in tech. Yeah, and both communities have my target audience. So there are a lot of marketers and entrepreneurs here. I get both low competition and access to my target audience. But it's not easy to find these communities. It's easy, it's simple, easy to say how to do it, but it's super hard to find it. If we are talking about paid communities, it might be easier to find community with engaged and relevant audience. But if we are talking about free communities, most of them are just full of ads, promotions. I also recently tried to check some Reddit communities in terms of where people are looking for freelancers. There are some communities like hiring freelancers or content, but they are also overwhelmed with competition with other writers. I will try just to participate in some relevant like marketing related, entrepreneurship related communities, not just like selling myself, just content marketing. Again, just answering questions, asking questions.
And what is your experience with platforms like Fiverr, Freelance Hunt?
I tried to register a few times on Upwork, but the registration process was super hard. And then I realized that there are a lot of folks who have thousands of reviews and like native speakers. And I understand that there will be a super high competition, even higher than in content communities. I think it's just not that good for content writers and content marketers. Maybe, for example, for designers, as I heard, it works out well because they get fast work, and they get paid like every. Content writers are still perceived as lower paid than designers or developers. But now, come on, like developers and designers, or also most developers and designers also don't have, for example, degree in design or degree in software engineering, computer science. So we are almost equal. So why we should be paid less? But
Agree.
I'm lucky that Most clients I work with currently, they value my work and they find my price relevant for the services I provide. One client even offered me higher hourly rate than I just tell him, my price is this. And she's, we can go $10 more. So
I think to big extent, undervalue of content marketers and content writers rates is related to wide implementation of AI. Do you see any threat to your profession from AI? And to which extent do you personally use AI in your work?
this undervalue of content marketers was even before AI. So just saying, but yeah, back to AI. I'm not afraid of it because it is the same as being afraid of an accident, of like when I'm taking a taxi and I'm afraid I will be in a car accident this day. This is the same because we are either will be replaced or no. And if we will be replaced, then sales managers also will be replaced. Designers will be also replaced. And probably developers will be, even senior developers will be also replaced. And then there will be a big market of people who just need to do something. And I think there will be a solution, especially for fast learners, for proactive, for entrepreneur people. There will be some solution. Yeah, so I'm not afraid completely. What I do instead, I try to implement AI tools as much as I can, and now I prioritize experiments, prioritize learning like prompt engineering, learning how it works from the technical side, so I can have a bigger picture and have an opportunity to choose the best solution for me and for my clients.
Any specific tools do you use?
I'm using Claude Pro version, Perplexity free version, and ChatGPT free. Mostly I use Claude. This is my main tool and covers
What is it for?
Mostly for editing, but also for audience related questions, for summarizing, for like chatting with documents, for generating infographics, sometimes for keyword insertion. Today, for example, I created my first application with Claude. It took just, I think, 5 minutes. And I even didn't realize it's so easy because I'm like, oh my God, I will have this code. And then how I will like play this code because I don't remember. I had some courses on Python, but I don't remember all this stuff, how to do it. With Claude, you're able to tell, I want application, for example, in my case today, that will tell me if this text has these keywords. Because I needed, for example, if I delegate my work, I need to check if the writer insert all keywords. So I created this tool. Also, I need it when I update articles. I need to ensure what keywords needs to be added on top of what already there. So I just tell him, I want this application to work as Control F2 and search if these keywords are in this article and how many times they are repeated. Then I was able to publish this application. I think within Claude, you will have a domain Claude something, but you will see it as a website with simple user interface, but it does the work. And you can imagine how many things can be done if you will like create smooth workflows with help with, I don't know, Zapier, like learn some coding skills so you have ability to go further. Perplexity I use mostly for research tasks. It's super helpful for extracting audience insights from Reddit. For example, you just ask question, and based on Reddit search, Perplexity provide you with structured insights. Then it's super helpful for finding relevant reports, statistics, data from original sources. You can also provide Perplexity with your websites and ask to search for specific reports or data on these websites. There is a way you can filter, for example, for searching only on in science papers, science research,
Mhm.
academic papers. Yeah, and you also can find original research, check university, I don't know, check the author, the date, and find the freshest
Mm.
data faster. Because, yeah, I know some life hacks how to find this in Google, and it also works well, but here it is much faster.
Where do you see the future of content marketing heading, and how do you prepare for these changes?
I learning AI and learning how to implement and use it. This is how I prepare. How I see the future, if nothing completely changes and the AI will like developing in the same speed as it doing now right now. I think we will end up managing AI bots, creating custom prompt. What I'm trying to do right now, helping companies keep track of new tools, new approaches, new opportunities to optimize their content production and their budget. So I see it is a big opportunity, especially for small teams, because enterprises, they have they set workflows, set processes, and they are super rigid often to implement AI, but smaller teams should definitely go this way.
We have such a great conversation, but I have still few questions to ask. And one of the last one, what is the one piece of advice you would give to someone who is just starting as freelance content marketer?
The main advice is don't compare yourself to others. Actually, it's related not only for freelancers, but to anyone starting their project or building their career. You can end up watching the success stories on Instagram or on LinkedIn, but you should always remember that it's only a part of the story. And as wise people tell that you should understand, you should know the context and the personality of the person who succeed, how many efforts they put in.
Yeah, I can fully relate. I always say the easiest way to feel myself miserable is to start comparing to others.
I still have a lot of this thing. Like 80% of the week, I feel I'm great, I'm professional, I worth it, I do everything right. And like 20%, I can think, oh my God, over a year I'm freelancing and I still don't earn six figures a year and the like.
To wrap up, I have three blitz questions that I'm asking to all my guests. So the first one, what is your favorite marketing tool and why?
It's Reddit because for my work, it's great from both audience research point of view, especially if the audience are entrepreneurs, marketers, software developers, and yeah, people who can hang out on Reddit. And this is the first part. And the second part is enormous amount of valuable expert insights, interesting conversations. With Reddit, it's easy to pick up trends as with TikTok and maybe, yes, in Twitter, I think. Because for me, I'm still thinking that LinkedIn is a bit late with trends.
If you had marketing superpower, which one would you choose?
For my content marketing work, I would choose being an expert, and particularly for freelance and agency content marketing work, I would choose being an expert in any niche I work with. For example, now I'm writing ads copy for health tech tool. There are two different segments of the target audience, and it's like where I should go to learn more about this audience. On Twitter, no, probably. So it's I'm lucky that I have my mom working with pharmaceuticals, but that's all.
And the last
So yeah,
question for today, what are your go-to sources for marketing inspiration?
I would for sure list animals, Kalina Marketing Agency, and Maria Delana. Also, I super inspired with a couple of entrepreneurs in Instagram, watching them in Instagram and on Telegram. And surprisingly, a lot of stuff they are posting super relevant to content marketing. They are posting various tools. They are posting various, for example, one guy, he often creates also with ChatGPT, probably. He creates different Chrome extensions for SEO. So why not? It's super useful for me.
What is the name of this guy?
The channel called Startup Level, and the guy is Igor Stefa.
Thank you, Vlada, for insightful conversation. Thank you for your energy and wish you good luck. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Your opportunity.